For centuries, Mars has been the ultimate destination, the most compelling what-if of our time. It's the red planet, a new frontier, a blank canvas for humanity's second act. We see it as our escape, a backup plan for a fragile Earth. Hollywood has painted it as a magnificent adventure, a place of stunning vistas and heroic pioneers. But what if the dream became a reality? What if we were already there, not as visitors, but as residents? What if a permanent, self-sustaining human colony was a fact of our lives, a living, breathing city on a distant world? This is a timeline that would not only change our address but change what it means to be human. It's a story of courage and resilience, but also of profound sacrifice, revealing that living on a new planet isn't a fresh start. It's an endless struggle against a world that is not only indifferent to our existence but is actively trying to end it. The first step, the Great Migration, the journey to a permanent Martian colony, would begin not with a single hero, but with a global, all-encompassing effort. It would require the cooperation of nations, the best minds in science and engineering, and a financial investment that would dwarf all other projects in human history. The first colonists would be not just astronauts but engineers, doctors, botanists, and construction workers, all hand-picked for their physical and psychological resilience. They would be tasked with the impossible, taking a desolate, frozen, irradiated rock and turning it into a home. They would arrive in waves, each ship carrying prefabricated modules for habitats, life support systems, and scientific equipment. The first city would likely be built in a subterranean cavern or a lava tube, to shield the inhabitants from the relentless radiation of deep space. The first colonists would live in a world of sealed domes and pressurized tunnels, their only view of the vast, red landscape outside a filtered one. For the first time in human history, an entire society would be defined by a single, unyielding barrier between themselves and the outside world. The physical and biological cost of a new home living on Mars isn't just a matter of building habitats. It's a matter of rebuilding the human body. Earth and Mars have two fundamental differences that would challenge our biology in ways we can barely comprehend: gravity and radiation. The gravity trap Mars is only 38% of Earth's gravity. For a human body that evolved over millions of years to fight against a constant 1G pull, this would be a slow, irreversible poison. Our muscles, no longer needed to carry our full weight, would begin to atrophy. Our bones, without the stress of constant gravity, would lose density, becoming brittle and fragile. In just a few months, a Martian colonist would find it nearly impossible to stand or walk in Earth's gravity. Children born on Mars would be the first truly Martian humans, but they would be physically trapped there. Their developing bodies would adapt to the lower gravity, and they would likely never be able to visit Earth. Their bones would be too weak to support their weight, and the simple act of walking would be excruciating, if not impossible. A Martian baby would never experience the simple joy of running on an open field, or the freedom of walking under a natural sky. They would be born with a home, but it would be the only home they could ever know. The silent killer, radiation. Mars has a very thin atmosphere and no global magnetic field, leaving its surface exposed to a constant barrage of cosmic radiation and solar flares. A short visit might be manageable, but a lifetime of exposure would lead to a catastrophic increase in cancer rates, neurological damage, and other devastating health problems. To survive, Martians would have to live in a world of shielded habitats and radiation-proof suits. Their lives would be defined by the relentless need for protection. The dream of a new home would be a life lived entirely indoors, in a pressurized bubble of our own making. A Martian colonist would never feel the sun on their face, or the wind on their skin, without the constant barrier of a suit. The romance of the red planet would be replaced by the constant, chilling reality of a silent, invisible killer that never goes away. The societal and economic realities of a new world. Beyond the physical challenges, a Martian colony would face profound societal and economic questions that would shape the future of both planets. Government and independence. How would a Martian society be governed? Would it be a colony of Earth, a new territory governed by the United Nations or a coalition of nations? Or would the sheer distance and the unique challenges of Martian life lead to a call for independence? The first generation of Martians, born on the red planet and defined by its challenges, might feel little loyalty to a distant Earth that they've never seen. This could lead to a new kind of geopolitical conflict, a cold war between Earth and Mars over resources, autonomy, and the very future of humanity. The idea of a Martian declaration of independence is not a work of science fiction, but a highly probable event. The Martian economy. The economy of Mars would be nothing like Earth's. Money would be a meaningless concept. The real currency would be resources, water, oxygen, and food. The economy would be based on a barter system of life-sustaining necessities. A doctor might be paid in oxygen, while an engineer might be paid in food. The value of a person's work would be directly tied to their ability to help the colony survive. The global supply chain we take for granted would not exist. Every meal, every breath, every drop of water would be the direct result of a Martian's labor. This would create a new kind of social hierarchy. The engineers who build the life support systems, the farmers who grow the food, and the water purification experts would be the new elite. The artists, philosophers, and even military leaders might be seen as less essential to survival, creating a deeply pragmatic, and perhaps less creative, society. A new kind of inequality. The decision of who gets to go to Mars would be a source of immense social and political strife. Only the wealthiest and most highly skilled would be chosen, or could afford, to make the journey. This would create a permanent divide between those who remain on Earth and those who escape to Mars. Earth would be seen as the old world, crowded and polluted, while Mars would be a new kind of promised land, a symbol of hope and a new future. The Martians would be a new social class, and their new home would be a gilded cage, a symbol of both their sacrifice and their privilege. The philosophical and psychological impact. The greatest challenge of living on Mars wouldn't be physical or political, it would be psychological. Humanity's soul is tied to Earth. We are a species of green grass, blue skies, and the smell of rain. Mars has none of these things. Living in an enclosed habitat, with a sterile, filtered view of the red landscape, would be an alienating experience. The psychological toll of this existence would be immense. The constant confinement, the lack of natural beauty, and the profound isolation would lead to a new kind of mental health crisis, a Martian loneliness. The human spirit, which has always been defined by its connection to nature and to the vastness of an open sky, would be forced to adapt to a world of man-made structures and artificial air. But in this harsh reality, a new kind of human might emerge. A human defined not by their connection to Earth, but by their resilience in the face of impossible odds. They would be a species of engineers and problem solvers, practical and pragmatic, with a new sense of community forged by shared struggle. They would be pioneers in the truest sense of the word, but their greatest victory would be simply to survive. The question is, if you had the opportunity to go to Mars knowing you could never return, would you take it? Do you think a Martian society would remain loyal to Earth, or would the vast distance inevitably lead to a Martian declaration of independence? Would the challenges of Martian life bring humanity together as one species, or would they create a new, irreversible division between Earthlings and Martians? Conclusion: living on Mars would be the ultimate test of the human spirit. It is a dream of a new home, a new frontier, and a new kind of human. But it is also a story of a profound sacrifice, of a life lived in constant danger and eternal confinement. It's a journey from a world of natural beauty and freedom to a world of endless struggle and man-made walls. In the end, it's not just about what we gain by living on Mars, it's about what we lose. If you want to keep exploring the what-ifs and see how our world could be different, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Timeline Shift, and get ready for our next adventure.